fast?
We did it. We did
it.
Yeah,
we did it. Absolutely.
4-day week. I thought it was longer than that, but anyway, they assured me it wasn't.
For sure. Now, we have got the end of the 60-day eviction moratorium coming up on the 14th of June, which, of course, is a Sunday. So let's make it the 15th of June. But it's not going to be that simple getting ruling out of NCAT from what we've heard. What's happened?
No, not at all. We had one of our members report to us, and I'm hoping that it isn't a sign of the status quo, if you will. But they were seeking a hearing date for an eviction. They hadn't paid their rent in living memory, and the best they could do was I think it was the early August.
Yeah,
early August. So
yeah.
And you got to say to yourself, well, NCAT really wouldn't have been doing much between this whole period where we couldn't evict anybody.
No.
So I'm a bit troubled by the future in this
absolutely.
space. So I don't want to be a bit of a downer on a Friday afternoon, but nonetheless, we'd like to get a few more happy stories out of NCAT.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we'll be looking for those happy NCAT stories then. Now, we had a webinar today with Julia Flynn, who is the Shadow Consumer Protection Minister, and we talked briefly about the Residential Tenancies Act, and she did say that if there are issues, because we've had a few people complain about forms and a few other things, if there are issues that people have got, that we should actually make a note of them, and if they're within the regulation, we should reach out and start the conversation.
Yeah, that was really valuable. So legislation has to go before the Parliament. We've got to argue it and stay up late and all the stuff that we recently saw, and to get it through. But with the regulation, as Julia rightly pointed out, that can be done by the minister, and without any help from anybody else. So if there is some problems in there and it's not working out in the field, then if we can bring that to the attention of the minister, and obviously also Julia invited us to do the same thing, because then she can take it up with government also, and see if we can get that fixed. Because quite often, as you well know, they give us a process and a procedure, and then we have to go and make it happen, and it just doesn't work. So so if we're in those circumstances, let us know about it, and we'll do what we can to get it corrected.
Yeah, absolutely. Now the EDMs, we've had an EDM go out today about licensing, so upgrading from class 2 to class 1 licenses, how you actually do it, encouraging people to check that you've got the right license. So they just have to go onto the Fair Trading website to do that, right?
Correct. And just while we're on that topic too, our auctioneers, I know a lot of the auctioneers are saying, hang on, I know I'm an auctioneer, but I can't find the accreditation on the back of my licence where it's supposed to live. And that's because there was an error at Fair Trading when they migrated all the data across. Now, they assure me that it is going to be fixed, but it isn't yet. But having said that, in the EDM we sent out today, if you go to a particular location, we've given you all the links in there, so you can just click on the link and you can go and do it, because I should imagine there may be instances where somebody says, well, Leanne, it's nice for you to call yourself an auctioneer, but I can't find where you are. That might be valuable to be able to go and demonstrate it. So that's one. And the other issue was about making sure you have the right class of licence. And as you know, we need a class 1 licence if we're going to be the licensee in charge. Now, once again, people were supposed to come across to a class 1 if you were the licensee in charge before the 23rd of March this year. But of course, it didn't happen as easily as that, and don't ask me why, but it didn't. And as a consequence of that, a lot of people, unfortunately, haven't got the right licence, and they've come across as a class 2 licence, and they're not registered as or nominated, I should say, by the business at Fair Trading, nominated at Fair Trading as the licensee in charge. So please go and have a look at it and check on it.
Yeah.
Because I think that there may be issues there, and in fact we know there are with some people.
With some people, okay. I better remember to check mine today. Okay, so next week we have got the wonderful Lee Woodward as our webinar guest. So that's on Friday at 11. But we've also got a training session with Lockie Daddo at 10:30 on Monday, and you are going to learn all about how to perfect your on-camera skills.
Really?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Oh well, I suppose you're always open to learning something, aren't you?
Yep, absolutely. I'm going to look forward to catching up with you on Monday to get your overview of what you've learned from that session. So anything else?
I always learn something.
Anything else you want to share with everybody before we let them go for the weekend?
I was trying to have a look at my list. No, I think that's it. That's it. Yeah. So we're back to the new normal, aren't we? Going out and thinking about restaurants and all kinds of stuff.
I know, it's very
I went into
exciting.
the office today. I don't know if I told you. I went into the office, yeah.
That was a big step.
Yeah, I wasn't quite sure where it was, but ultimately I found it. I tell you, the thing that has amazed me is I'm walking around the streets in Sydney, and that building wasn't there. I mean, like, it's because you've been away so long.
Yeah.
And there's renos going on everywhere. And
I must admit, I noticed the same thing when I was in town earlier in the week.
Yeah.
There's buildings that were there that are no longer there, and vice versa. So there's massive changes happening.
Yeah.
So at least construction's been continuing.
Yeah, probably they'd be grateful, wouldn't they? Because it's just sort of. Yeah. Anyway,
all right,
you have a nice
I'll let
weekend.
you go. I will. You too.
Thank you.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.